Hey guys, welcome to With Intention. We're at Moeller Elementary School in Columbus, Ohio. Today we're going to be talking to Roy Hall, former Ohio State wide receiver, an NFL football player who now runs the Driven Foundation.
You make it to the NFL, and I'm like, wow, this is it. There's more life in helping other people have life than it is building your own life.
Hey, Roy,
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So we're at Moeller Elementary.
Yes, sir.
What's this place about?
Man, well, first I would be remiss if I don't show you. Look, see these flowers here, and we got some flowers up there that a lot of the kids that we mentor actually plant every spring, right? So they kind of try and become landscapers almost, right? Like they planting flowers and doing some different things, but it's kind of a metaphor or analogy of what we're trying to do, not just at Moeller, but in a lot of Columbus City schools and mentoring kids and young men specifically. And so we've had the opportunity to sow and plant a lot of seeds of wisdom and insight, understanding that we have a responsibility to build up young men and to build people. We have I guess, a innate, the fleshly side of us, the competitive side of us wants to build business, wants to build wealth, wants to build legacy, but we don't spend as much time and we don't make it a priority to build people. And that's the part I believe that we've been called to do, is to build other people, to help other people manage and grow and increase their vision. And by doing so, you'll always be a person of value. So it's been a lot of fun being one of the leaders of this great organization. Me and Antonio Smith, who's a former Buckeye as well, had the opportunity over the last 8 to 10 years to really do some great things with the Driven Foundation. And so it's an honor and a privilege to do this.
Well, let's jump inside. We'll sit down and we'll talk more about
That'd be great. That'd be great, man.
This place is awesome. I look back here, I see a bunch of Driven stuff here. Tell us more about this place.
Moeller Elementary, it's really our base for outreach. And what I mean by base is just the fact that this is kind of the center of the south side of Columbus. And so for us, we wanted to position ourselves to be able to do consistent outreach in an area and not bounce around a lot. And so a lot of times you'll do an outreach in a city one year, maybe you'll go to another city or a different neighborhood the next year, another neighborhood the next year. And it's great, and that's a good strategy. Everybody gets a piece of the pie. But when you're really trying to change mindset and culture and start to build relationships, you got to be there consistently.
So let's talk about just Driven in general. Why did you start it? When did you start it? Just talk about the mission.
So the initial outreach that Driven Foundation did was a football camp. That's what we do. Right? Football players do football camp. You teach kids 9 to 15 how to run 40-yard dashes. You give them autographs, how to do a vertical jump, an agility drill. They're catching passes, and that's absolutely awesome. The experience alone with NFL players and Ohio State Buckeyes could change the mindset of a kid to want to be the next great person. Even if it changes their mindset to want to be the next NFL player, if it's 200 kids out there, probably only 2 of them are going to actually make it to the NFL. So knowing that, what else am I equipping these kids with that they could use long term? They can't run a 40-yard dash in their mom's living room. It's only 1,100 square feet home. So they can't do that. But they got to go home, the lights might not be on. They might not have the clothes that they desire. They may be getting teased because of their shoes, right? They may have a cramp in their stomach because they haven't eaten in 2 days or a day and a half or whatever it may be. Or they got to stuff themselves on Wendy's or Rally's or McDonald's every day because we can't afford to go to Whole Foods like most people can. And so what else am I doing to make a difference to meet those needs? Dad's not around. Maybe mom's not around. How am I doing my part to make a difference there? And so I looked at Antonio and he looked at me and it was like, hey, what else can we do outside of just this football camp, which is good, which is fine, to make a difference where it really matters.
So did this happen? Did you guys start the camp and said, we're just doing a football camp, and then this
was
born from that?
It was born from that. It was born from that, where we wanted to do something to give back, and that's what we did. But when you start looking around and talking to the parents and talking to the grandmothers and you're talking to them and they're like, yeah, this is great. He's always been a good athlete, but his dad's not around. He's always been a great athlete, but I can't afford him to have cleats. That's why he's slipping and falling out there. So now what else can we do? So we looked around. Well, what's the major need for all people? Well, we need food. More than shelter, more than anything. I need something in my stomach so that I can physically be present. And so we started with our first annual Driven Foundation food outreach. And so we fed 300 families probably about 2 or 3 days worth of food, estimated. We was an outdoor event. Had a big 18-wheel truck that came up full of food, and we packaged it up, and it was in the middle of the winter. It was cold. We didn't know what we were doing. Hey, we just want to give back. Yeah. And that really is where the infrastructure and our mindset and our vision was born, where we don't have to have 10 different meetings and 10 different opinions from different people, from this person and that person. What are we going to do, right? People talk a lot. Let's talk more work. We talk. Somebody should do something about the problem. We should come up with a strategy for this. And you do need to plan, but you need to be very intentional about the time you spend planning, because many people spend more time planning than they do pushing through and having breakthroughs for these families. So, man, let's call some people that we know. Let's write that check. Let's go ahead and get some food out here. It's in the middle of winter, it's cold, but people didn't care. They showed up because the need was there. And since that first event in 2009, we've distributed over 850,000 pounds of free food to over 6,500 Central Ohio families. And so that's all those families getting a week's worth of food, not just canned goods, but we start giving them the good stuff: pasta sauce, chicken and chicken legs and chicken breasts and oatmeals and bread and eggs. And so everything that you would get from a grocery store. So if we could provide those types of meals to these families long term, all of a sudden it just gives them something to look forward to. And knowing that, hey, there's an organization that's going to consistently be here. And out of that came every other program, just trying to meet needs.
Sure. Yeah. So something you said earlier, I think super important. You talked about consistency as showing up, not just going here, there, everywhere, which is, there's some value in that too, I think, of serving a lot of people, but that focused service over time. Talk about that a little bit, the importance of it.
I think you spend as much time in an area that you need to before you leave and go to another area. You can't leave one area until you've taught the people in that initial area to be self-sustaining. And so, in my opinion, just biblically speaking, Jesus didn't necessarily leave until he knew he could leave. He came, he met a need, but this is when you know you can leave, when people follow you to go impact the next place. And usually when he moved, people moved with him, right? Or he left somebody in that area or trained up somebody in that area to take over while he was gone. Right. So now it's not a matter of, I came here one time, you saw me and I left. Now it's, I have people in position to man this, and I can circle back around later if I need to. But there's somebody in position, and the people that are here, they don't want to stay here. They don't want to stay in poverty. They don't want to stay being the laughingstock of the city. They don't want to stay down. They want to be up. So I'm going to travel wherever they go, I'm going to. And now when we go to other cities, it's no longer who is the Driven Foundation, and I have to be a walking billboard and speak and tell people what we do. People that are following us, that have experienced the Driven Foundation and have had success and are motivated by what we do, can tell it for us. Sure. And so now you get the volunteers from the south side of Columbus, families working in the Linden area. And it's like, where are you guys from? Oh, we're from the south side of Columbus. Really? We've been working with the Driven Foundation for 5 years. It's different from, we've been working with them, they came and they left, and then we don't know what happened to them.
So tell me, let's go back to, I know you grew up in Cleveland.
Yeah.
So the two things that come to mind as I'm watching a lot of your stuff: passion and compassion, right? Like two big things.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
I mean, biblically, when you tie it all together, you know, that was one of Christ's strengths. But the ability to be empathetic, the ability to understand that people are in situations maybe not because of their wanting to. People don't wake up and say, when they're 15 years old, like, what do you want to be when you get older? I would love to experience homelessness for 7 years. I would love to become a drug dealer. I would absolutely love to be in a situation where I'm getting evicted. I would love it. Like, nobody wakes up and says those things. And so when you find yourself in a situation where you're having challenges, it may not be your fault, but you still need help. You still need resources. My dad made a decision early on. He started dabbling in marijuana use, which spiraled into him having an addiction with heroin. And so, again, it doesn't make him a bad person. It just means that one decision kind of cost him almost the rest of his life. And the decisions that he made early on as a teenager cost him relationships. And so one of the reasons why we serve is because we're trying to prevent that. All right, this is why we work with young people. One of my assets is passion, right? It's an internal fire. It's the mindset that you can never give up. It's perseverance. It really is our Driven Foundation mission to promote perseverance, to build hope through relentless service. And when you understand that the destinies of young people and people around you are literally in your hands or in your voice, when you do something in your actions, you could change somebody's destiny. It's a powerful responsibility. So if I'm speaking, if I'm serving, spending 5 minutes with a young person, I got to be able to bring a certain level of energy to raise them, right? I can't come in fatigued. I can't do it. As a football player, you don't have time to have a bad practice where you just were too tired or you didn't feel like being there or your mind was somewhere else. In that moment of serving and helping others, I have the responsibility to give them everything that I have in that moment because it's not guaranteed that I'll see that person again. So if I'm shortchanging them, not only am I shortchanging their future, I'm shortchanging myself because I'm not giving my all, which means I might as well not show up anyway. One of the things that I like doing is playing with words. And if you're studying out words, one of the reasons why people lack passion and one of the reasons why people don't have passion is because they're passive and they pass on a lot of things. If you pull out that I in passion, and so what happens is we become selfish. You pull out the I in passion and move it to the front. When you start making your life about yourself, I need this, I need that, what about me? Why haven't I gotten this? Why has this happened to me? When will I get my opportunity? I don't feel like helping anybody else because I need to help myself first. I pull out that I put it in front, it becomes a sentence, I pass on. And so most people end up passing on multiple opportunities to serve and help people. They overlook problems, they overlook issues that they could solve in their own circle because they're so worried about themselves, growing their wealth, becoming the best version of themselves. And you need to do those things, but if you can learn how to do them simultaneously, you won't lose your passion. You lose your passion when you become selfish, right? So my job is while I'm here, 34, 74, 120, to give everything that I have to everything that I do and exhaust myself and give that energy and get the most out of my life.
Where does that come from? And have you always had it? When did you get it? And
I think, first you have a drive and a passion to accomplish what you want to accomplish. But then you get to the level that you thought was going to be the level that you needed to arrive at, and you're reminded that it means nothing. You make it to the NFL, and I'm like, wow, this is it? I had more fun playing high school ball. I had more fun in college. Man, the NFL, that's all I got. This is it. This is it. You got a couple dollars in your bank account, and this is it. You got some more Instagram followers. That's it. That's all I get. I could be in a commercial. That's it. So once you get to the point that you thought you needed to arrive at that was going to change your life forever, which it can financially, now what, right? And then you go and you visit a hospital where there are multiple people challenged with illnesses in their body and challenges in their body, cancer and leukemia, sicknesses that you never even heard of before. And you walk into a room and they light up just by seeing you. They don't know who you are. They just see your logo on your shirt, Colts logo, Lions logo, Buckeye logo. They light up. They all of a sudden have life. You walk into an elementary school, kids never seen you before. You walk in with the scarlet and gray on or that blue and white from the Colts. Oh my gosh, they don't even know who you are. They don't care who you are. Life, energy, responsibility. So now all of a sudden, I'm at this level and I'm like, wow, there's more life in helping other people have life than it is building your own life. And so if I could walk in and somebody can go from on the brink of death and pop up because they see a scarlet and gray or they see a horseshoe from the Colts or an NFL logo, if I can do that just by walking into a room, what happens if I spend time with that person? What happens if I spend time with their kids? What happens if I meet a need of a family member that they may have that they can't meet on their own? If somebody can make a decision by just seeing somebody to have life and to have passion, that's what passion is. It's a certain level of life. If temporarily they can make a decision, oh my gosh, this is something, I can do the same thing for people. And that's where that part comes from, when you realize the platform that you have, you've been blessed with, and God has given you this platform to make a difference. It's awesome, man.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, brother.
Tell me where we can find you. Where do we find you online?
StayDriven.org. Go online, StayDriven.org.
Appreciate it. Thanks
Appreciate
for your time.
it, brother. You got it, man.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. I don't know about you, but that was really powerful to sit there and hear Roy's words about passion and compassion and serving others. He's doing some amazing work. So great to have you here. You can check us out at John Gigante on Instagram. I'm going to post a link to Roy's website too at the Driven Foundation. Please check that out. If you feel compelled to support that, that would be an awesome mission to support as well. Take care. Have a great day.